Just one news line to bring you today about Jude Bellingham. UEFA have confirmed that their Ethics and Disciplinary Committee are investigating Bellingham's goal celebration for a potential violation of the basic rules of decent conduct. We will update you with that and any news when we get it. Gary, I can't keep asking you, going round and round in circles, asking you the same question every single day about whether England are going to change anything. I mean, they're going to have to change Gahey because he's suspended. Trippier may not be available. Shaw trained, as Gabriel says. But it's fairly self-evident. If they carry on playing like this, as the competition gets better, they are not going to get through. Switzerland are an extremely good team. So surely now is the time. He has to do something, Gareth Southgate.
That's how I felt after the group games. It never changed. My heart says that there's something written in the stars and that Gareth's got this Midas touch. He's got this amazing sort of record in tournaments and he's going to end his England career lifting the trophy in 2 weeks. But my head's saying if they carry on playing as they are, they're going out on Saturday because they're not playing anywhere near well enough to beat a decent side and a good side. You know, they're playing against Denmark, Serbia, Slovenia and Slovakia so far and they're struggling like crazy. Switzerland are a step up. Still a good draw in a quarter-final of a tournament. That's not being disrespectful. You said 3-4 weeks ago we were playing Switzerland in the quarter-final of a tournament. You just snapped their hands off. But again, we're playing nowhere like the standard we should be. And I do feel we'll go out on Saturday if we don't step it up. And that means I think he's got to change it. Because 4 times, if you pick the same team 4 times, see the same performance 4 times, you pretty much know what you're going to get.
Well, as everybody says, it's a definition of insanity to do the same thing over and over again, expect different results. Roy, actually, arguably they're getting worse, England, aren't they? They got through yesterday, but arguably yesterday was the worst performance of the lot.
It's a battle from at the moment. But that's what happens in football. That's what happens in life sometimes. You're going through, we talk about teams trying to find a way of playing a free-flowing game. But it's about surviving. Staying in the game for England was about staying in the competition. And this is where I will have to give them credit. I agree with... You look at the way they're playing, it's nowhere near good enough. They're not creating chances. They've scored 4 goals, obviously 2 from set pieces. But they're staying in the fight. It's like a boxer on the ropes. You've got to keep swinging. And England keeps swinging. And at the moment, because you've got a couple of heavyweight players from, they are producing from. And while they're at it, and they've got Switzerland, another tougher challenge from. But after yesterday, I wouldn't be writing England off, far from it. And listen, we all need a bit of luck as well, of course.
Yeah. I mean, international football often is about moments, isn't it? Because there isn't the time necessarily for the patterns that can be ingrained in club football. And that's all England are surviving on, guys, isn't it? Moments.
It is moments and big players. And that's what happened yesterday. Like the game plan, I'm sure, wasn't expected to be playing in the way they did, but they stayed in the game. They never lost the game they faced into it, even in the moments that were very difficult when the Slovakia scored, but the big players show up in the right moment. And from now on, this is what it's about. It's not always about playing well. We talk about France, it's the same. They're not playing well. Let's see what they do today. You need the big players to come out at the right moment.
And you need to remind yourself what you're good at. I know we all love watching Spain. We love watching these other teams keep the ball for fun. But England's 2 goals yesterday was about putting the ball in the box, getting bodies in there. Obviously, it was a desperate stakes, I get it. And people attacking the ball. That's the strength of England. Don't be embarrassed by that. You don't have to go on an ego trip and think you need 600, 700, 800 passes like the other teams. Know your strengths, your weaknesses. It's getting the balls in the box in the right areas. And England have players who can attack it.
So are England, I'm talking about the media, the public, getting a bit too obsessed about how England are playing rather than the fact they're getting it done?
See, I think sometimes. I think that's an issue in football over the last 5, 10, 15 years with the great Barcelona teams. We talked about Spain and Man City, and everyone must play hundreds and hundreds of passes. England's strength, I think, is getting it forward quickly at the right time, and if players at the top end of the pitch, that can hurt anybody.
What would you be saying if you were part of this England squad now, whether you're a coach or a player? What would be the tone of the conversations today, over lunch, in training, when you're having a game of darts, whatever you're doing, when you're relaxing?
I mean, if you're players, you're obviously thinking about resting and recovering. You're in a period where in a tournament, you're getting a bit of solace. You've been away for a couple of nights away from your sort of base. You're back in your base and you're relaxing and you're thinking about how you pull it together. The coaching staff will be analysing the game and they've got to try and get a message into the players somehow. I mean, it won't be a great post-match analysis watching that back. I mean, there'll be a positive at the end of how they've obviously got through the tie. But when they look at the performances, they're passing too slowly. It's too methodical. It's too rigid. There's no one really taking risks. It's too safe. And they're living right on the edge. And that's fine if you get through it. We often say get over the line. But is it conceivable? Is it realistic that we're going to keep getting over the line in this way if we don't change something? And to be fair, whether Roy says put the ball in the box and play more direct, what we have to do is play quicker. And that's quicker without the ball and quicker with the ball. We look lethargic And when we're pressing, we look lethargic in possession. And that is not England. That's not these
but
players.
If you think Garrett and his staff are going to fix that in the next 2 weeks, you're living in cuckoo land. Absolutely, as if they're going to produce new training sessions. The bottom line is you go to that England camp today and everyone will be feeling good about yourself. And that's very important in sport. Everybody, the staff, and sometimes there's games, you don't analyse them. You move on very quickly. It's all about the next match. You only enjoy victories. And to talk about analyse it till the cows come home, move on to the next game. They've got some momentum. They're not playing well. But you got to win. Football's about winning at the top level. I'm sick of saying it.